Pittsburgh's Acrisure Stadium. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Gets this complete to Shaheed. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. They'll run it. Here's the rookie from Ohio State. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. The Steelers at 7-5 now in the year. They come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
2 big runs here to start this game. How about the offensive line? They came out firing. Great leverage, great punch to get this thing started.
And now this unit on the move already. Second down and 3. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. This is Juszczyk. And he will have a Steelers first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with a fullback, it's hard to knock him backwards.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. It's a gain of 35.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Open man left side. Shaheed has it. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. They'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
Play number 9 now on this pretty long opening drive, but this is 3rd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
Boswell's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And a completion to Wilson. So the completion good for just 3. And it's 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. And you're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on. And I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that one going to be off target and incomplete. You look at this Steeler defense. This unit, they've struggled a little bit against the pass, ranked number 21 in the league.
What they lack in pass defense, they do make up for in run defense. They're a top 10 unit against the people trying to move the ball on the ground. But this is a passing league. So there's a conundrum for them. How do they get better defending the pass?
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Rodgers to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Jets 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the first down there, help them relax a little bit.
They'll run for the first time with Breece Hall. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. T.J. Watt in on the tackle.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. Here's Hall again. 20. And he's going to take this all the way down to the Steelers' 11. Couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? Five or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. Now we're 1st and 10 at the 11. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. To throw is Rodgers. And it's caught. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll give them a short yardage situation here for 2nd down. Give to Hall running right. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Just a gain of a yard, but it's going to set him up with a 1st and goal. You were telling me this yesterday. That's exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Rodgers now to throw. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Jets are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead. But down here, I thought they were going to hand that off. Instead, a well-designed play and the pitch and catch for the touchdown.
And I wonder who came up with it. Was it a call from the bench? Did the quarterback have a good idea and suggest it? In any event, clearly an effective play call. They saw something they liked in coverage, and they targeted it for the short yardage throw.
And the perfect way to cap their opening drive. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
2nd and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Jermaine Johnson, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit, right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. 3rd and 19, no problem, as they're able to convert.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Finding Pickens for another catch. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 9. A short one there to Freiermuth. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's 3rd and 4 now. That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So that as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football, all right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw here. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Boswell's kick is good, and they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. Well, good start for him in this one here in the first quarter, and he's now 2 for 2 on field goals.
And I know while the offensive coaches are telling their guys, hey, let's leave the kicker out of it unless it's an extra point, this could pay dividends if this game is tight down the stretch. His confidence is going to be sky high if they need him for a big-time kick.
And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. That's a nice throw there, and he's obviously feeling pretty good because remember, he had a touchdown pass on the last drive, and here he comes out throwing again, and they wind up getting good yardage and a first down right out of the gate.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Rodgers wants to change the look. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. You look at this Steeler defense. This unit, they've struggled a little bit against the pass, ranked number 21 in the league.
They'll take that play right there each and every snap because throughout this season, they've given up some big plays. To be able to hold someone to no gain, oh yeah, they'll take that one all game long.
A 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. Now it's Rodgers, and that's incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Now Rodgers. That to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
On 4th down, here's the veteran Thomas Morstead to punt for the Jets. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And this one will wind up being down just outside of that 20-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Now a 2nd and 10. They're going to look to throw. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. That is caught. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A pickup of 27. And they pick up the first down in the process.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Here's 2nd and 8. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now. After one, a 1-point game, 7-6. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 34-yard line. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A quick throw complete into the flat out left. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
They'll look to make it 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. They need a yard here. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. They'll try and run for it. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
Here's 2nd and 10. As Shaheed going to go in motion. And they'll get it forward to him on the touch pass. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
Boswell's kick is good, and they jump back in front here. It's 9-7. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. He completes it to Wilson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 46-yard line, a second down and 6. Here's Rodgers. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up third. How to approach this? Third down and 16 yards to go. Throwing now is Rodgers. This pass out wide to Hall. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to the ground with Hall. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. 63 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now Rodgers going to shift him around. On 1st down, right back to Hall. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. To throw, it's Rodgers. And his throw here's incomplete.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He's got Wilson, and that's a Jets touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Jets are able to move back in front.
An excellent, long, sustained offensive drive. And now they can look across the field and see a defense that looks a little bit beaten down. Right now, as an offensive coordinator, you're thinking to yourself, can I dial up the knockout punch?
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is up to 5. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Finds Pickens outright. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He'll find Shaheed out to the right. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
This a 2nd and 7 from the 37. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
That sure looked like a nice call by the defense, and they're very cohesive in their coverage. As soon as he cut inside, they broke on the football and met him as the ball got there and forced the incompletion.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a 1st. This is 3rd down. They'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This from 54 yards away. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar, and this will remain a 5-point game.
Well, he's got a big leg, and when everything comes together, he can certainly hit from long range, but this one's going to come up just a little bit short. A very good effort, though.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
Well, it's kind of fitting. A couple days ago when we met with him, I said, what is it about your running game that's so effective? He said, I like to tag myself as elusive. He was pretty elusive right there.
And his teammates appreciate that because they know they don't have to hold their blocks for very long. As one of them told us, if I just breathe some bad breath on the guy in front of me, that's all I need to do, and he's gone.
They'll go again with Hall. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. David Onyemata there on the tackle.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Straight ahead is Hall. And he'll get this pretty close to a first down as he's tackled at the Steelers' 25. 92 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Here now, 3rd and a yard. Here's Rodgers to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Aaron Rodgers, 3 first-half touchdown passes as his guys are able to extend their lead. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run. So much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him. And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far. But on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. He'll drop to throw. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hoping they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Looking to throw. And that went to the right side and incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. And they're going to stop play here. And the injury is to, that's DJ Chark, the receiver, who's in need of some help right now. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Rodgers now to throw. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They need 18 yards here on 3rd down. Rodgers directing traffic, going to change the play. On 3rd down, here's Hall. And some room to work. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. This is brought in at the 21. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Gets this out wide to Pickens. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well, great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
On fourth down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. A call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. Ball again. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. And the Jets set to receive this third quarter kickoff, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in the second half. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield. Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
2nd and 6. Ball on a give up the middle. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll run with Hall. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they run it with Hall. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 149 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. It's been an excellent day for him running the football, no doubt, as he continues to soar well past 100 yards.
Yeah, it almost feels like he can just grab his briefcase and head home after putting in a full day's work at the office, doesn't it?
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. Oh, this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. The slot man in motion right. Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. Rodgers going to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. A defensive-minded coach loves to bring the heat. Brought the heat there, and it worked out.
And nowadays, all those defensive-minded coaches, for them, it's all about getting the football. I went into one facility, and as soon as you walked into the defensive room, there was a football, like on a spring, and each guy that walks in that plays has to act like he's knocking the ball free. They want those instincts created. They want them to think about that all the time, and that's what they try to preach.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Hands it off out of the gun. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 52 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. Well, they gave themselves options there on the third down play and were able to convert on that RPO.
Shows a lot of trust with the guy taking the snap, doesn't it? Because you're counting on him to make the right reads and give the ball where it's supposed to go. And he did on that play.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Here's a quick throw to Freiermuth. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4. That is catch number 300 now for his NFL career. Second down and 6 now. He'll look to throw. Washington's got it. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Third and 2. They'll set up a throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. And now for him on the season, that is his 80th catch, and the result is a 1st down. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. Now the Jets are going to burn another timeout. And that's going to leave them with just 1 timeout remaining still in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. We'll be back. Second and 4. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. From 4 yards out. And the Steelers have got it back to within a score. So a strong drive here to lead off this 3rd quarter and gets them right back in this football game.
And I think we can safely call that a statement drive because they had to be saying, we didn't put our best foot forward in the first half, but we certainly mean business now. Maybe a better term, a prove-it drive. They proved it to themselves that they were ready to go.
And now the Steeler offense staying out there, and they'll go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. To throw is Rodgers. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 17 yards for the Jets there as they've got themselves a first down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now Allen. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Here's a 2nd and 8. Throwing is Rodgers. Now a short one to Gesicki. They'll give him 4 yards there. And now it's 3rd and 3.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Rodgers changing the play, it appears. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to be dumped there, but he does have a first down.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. Incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. They'll give to Hall. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long. Now Rodgers. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. Well, it's been a little bit of feast or famine because he's thrown for decent yardage, and obviously they've got the lead, Charles, but now he's been sacked 4 times.
And what I'm focusing on is his toughness in the pocket. Because you mentioned the feast or famine part, he's played well in between being dumped on his back. But every time he's had a chance to throw the football, he's been impressive.
I think they're just a product of trying to buy themselves 5 extra yards.
And they want to help their punter out, right? Help with the angle, trying to pin the ball deep. That's exactly what they did there.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for New York. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
He'll look to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth. And Freiermuth going to have a Steelers 1st down as he's brought down at the 25-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
They fire this one quickly to Austin. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Back to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball, how much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. A quick throw complete to Washington. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively, but they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 36. Again, he'll drop to throw. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. 3rd quarter action in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, PA. Back to throw again. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
What will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw again. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. Three quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
No, that's you, partner. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. A handoff for Hall. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. So this is where a defense can really pin back its ears, bring it all, sell out to stop the run. This time, it'll earn them 2 points.
They definitely guessed right here. A run blitz all the way, and that's a bad feeling for a running back when he knows he's got to at least get it over the goal line. But all he sees are opposing jerseys. And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll make it second down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They got to go thank the guys on D.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a second down and 4. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Right back to him on first down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
From the 35, here's a 2nd and 8. They'll drop to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Third and 4. They'll look to throw here. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 21. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Back to throw now on first down. A short one there to Freiermuth. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
On the right side, this is Austin with a catch. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. So nothing doing there. And now third down and 6 to go.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, Had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Steelers are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on first and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Steelers have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. And that moment we just saw, always so special for any rookie, the first touchdown of his career.
And there's nothing like anticipation, is there? You know he's been dreaming about it, thinking about it. It's been a part of every bit of his being. And finally, it gets done. He's got to feel great right now.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. The pressure is on now. They're being shut out here in the second half after a decent first half offensively. And they need their best drive of the game right here. Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
Well, this offense hasn't been at their best here. They've made some mistakes. They've been frustrated. They've been largely shut down. But then you look up and say, wait a second. This is a one-score game. So they're still very much in this, and they're on the move here with a first down.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's first and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Moore. And he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 42-yard line. Rodgers going to throw. His throw incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. And again, it's Rodgers. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake, 3rd down.
And now offensively, it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now, the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. So they'll try to move the ball closer here on 3rd down. A field goal from this spot would be just inside of 60 yards, 59 to be exact. Here's Rodgers throwing quickly to the flat. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this will be touchdown inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 18-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
Man, confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. He'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9. They'll look to throw. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. A CD, a little bit of feast or famine for him. He's had some success throwing the football, but also now he's been sacked 4 times.
Yeah, you just mentioned the 4 sacks, but you're right. He has managed to hang in there and make plays at times. His offensive line, they've got to figure it out and pick things up and give him more opportunities, and he has to help them by getting rid of the ball a little bit quicker as well.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44. And the Jets will take over. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Here's Rodgers. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. But right there, he rose to the occasion late in a close game.
It's something he thought about, dreamed about, and worked on throughout his career. Because in these types of situations, he wasn't going to allow extra coverage to keep him from getting the football.
Here's a give to Hall. And he is not going to go anywhere. They're going to get to him behind the line, and that is going to get us to the 2-minute warning. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. A big play here as the crowd noise rises. 3rd and 1. Rodgers wants to change the look. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line.
Oh, I know it goes against the grain here. It totally goes against it, but you've got to drop the ball in that situation. He makes a catch, but he loses yards and doesn't get out of bounds.
Where will the pressure come from? 4th and 6 now. Now Rodgers gotta have this one. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he's going to get out of bounds with the... So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout. Back to throw, Rodgers. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 24-yard line.
I'm starting to wonder here. Are they trying to prevent winning? Because right now, they're laying back and they're picking them apart, moving the ball downfield. I think they got to start bringing a little pressure towards the quarterback.
Just the one timeout remaining as they try to navigate this 2-minute drill. 1st and 10. Rodgers to throw. That's pulled in by Wilson. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow. Wow.
What a game this has been, and what a drive that was, Charles, to take the lead here late in the 4th quarter.
And, partner, that's a job well done by everyone, from the players to the guys calling the plays. And if I may introduce just one downside to the mix, might be a little bit too much time left. Enough on the clock for a final last-ditch effort to try and steal this win away.
The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag. Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the 4th. Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. He's back to throw. That's to Freiermuth. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. Two timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now. They'll look to throw. Throw out wide is incomplete.
You get into these 2-minute drill situations, and you've often got tired legs on the offensive line. But these defenders, they've been rotating in and out, and they're a little bit fresher and quicker. And the pressure there forced the incompletion.
A little more than 40 seconds to play. Now 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Back to throw. That is caught. And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 45-yard line. He'll look to throw. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Again, he'll drop to throw. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front and getting to them. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
A big play needed, no doubt. 3rd and long. All eyes on Fields. And that one too wide and incomplete. One final shot now. I'm not even sure he can get it to the end zone, though, from this distance.
That's going to take as much arm as he has, and you actually have to plan for the contingency. Maybe you're playing a tip. Try and get someone down who can tip it up and keep it for your own team and try and get to the end zone that way.
The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's 4th down. One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that is dropped. Oh, my goodness. That could have been a game changer, but he could not hang on. What a finish in this one, Charles. You know, this group, they come in, they have to fight a hostile atmosphere every snap. They get the late score, they get the victory, and that flight home, it's going to be a little sweeter after this one.
And Brandon, just like you, I was fired up for that last sequence. How about that? Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the huddle when they were mounting that game-winning drive? Big-time moment. No one shied away from it. They tuned out the crowd, kept their heads, and executed the way they needed to earn that win.
So for the Jets, it's a 4th win on the year as they move to 4-9. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they can ill afford to drop too many more as they fall to 7-6 on the year. And they'll look to get back on track next week.